Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. It's Jeff the IT Guy. Today we're going to be doing another review. This is the Dell XPS 17. This is the current edition of it. And so, the Dell XPS 17 is Dell's flagship premium notebook. It marries performance into somewhat of a thin and light 17-inch beast, This one, it's not super thick. It's pretty thin. It's less than 5 pounds. This one here features an i9-10880H, which is an 8-core, 16-thread CPU, 32 gigs of RAM, 1.5 terabytes of NVMe SSD, and an RTX 2060 Max-Q. It features, a 17-inch 1080p screen, but it can be outfitted with a 4K touchscreen option. It comes with a 97 watt-hour battery and a 130 watt power adapter, which is this one. And so this is my personal laptop that I picked up from the Dell outlet, which is a great way to get an awesome machine at a pretty fair price. The original model of this came with a 512 gig SSD, 16 gigs of RAM. I upgraded that though, and so you can upgrade these by yourself. They are user upgradable. You can put up to 64 gigs of DDR4 3200 megahertz RAM in here, and then you can put two 2 terabyte NVMe drives in here as well. And so the build quality on this machine is excellent. It features an aluminum top and bottom, as you can see. So this is aluminum. One thing I will say about this is it does pick up dust, fingerprints, stuff like that, and it does, kind of scuff a little bit easily, and I baby my stuff. There is that, and the keyboard area is the, Dell sort of carbon fiber that they've got going on, whatever it is. It's like a rubberized carbon fiber feel. You've got 2 speakers and everything, so it's very comfortable to type on. So that's your keyboard area. The screen, as I said earlier, is a 1080p screen. It is 500 nits, that's its max brightness, 60 hertz refresh rate, and a 1650:1 contrast ratio. And so this screen also has a new type of aspect ratio as well, which is 16:10. It's quite nice, and it provides an excellent panel to code on. To work in like Adobe, to do professional work. This screen is really, really nice. So not only is the screen really nice to, do your development, your Premiere, but it's also good to grind your way to 60 in WoW Classic or 70 in the Burning Crusade Classic. All right, so let's talk about ports. As far as ports go on here, on this laptop, prepare to get your dongle game on. You're gonna be like every MacBook user ever and start carrying around dongles. This one has 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports on it, an SD card reader, a microphone headphone port, and the power is delivered via one of the USB ports. So on the left-hand side, you've got a combo jack for your microphone headphone, your full-size SD card, 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports, and on the right-hand side, you've got a Kensington lock and 2 USB 3 ports, or Thunderbolt 3 ports. So let's talk about the keyboard. The keyboard is muy excelente. It is awesome. And the trackpad is almost as nice as a MacBook Pro 16. It's not quite, but it is a real joy. The typing experience on this machine, well, it's euphoric. If you're a hardcore typer like myself, like if you spend a lot of time typing, whether that's documents in Slack, Discord, whatever, talking to people, if you're that person, typing on this machine is awesome. It is fantastic. It's such a great experience. The trackpad, it's large, almost like a MacBook Pro. And even though it's large and it feels good, it could just be mine, but this one had an issue with ghosting. If your palm is too close to the trackpad, it can throw it off and make clicking a little difficult. So let's talk about the battery. The 97 watt-hour battery, which is, I believe, the largest that you can fit in a laptop, provides about 5 to 7 hours of work time. depending on the task and brightness of the screen. So I'm not going to go out there and say like, oh yeah, you're going to get 7 hours of, time, whatever. It depends on what you're doing. It depends, okay? So if you're on here and you're working in Adobe all day and you've got the brightness cranked, you're not going to get 5 to 7 hours. You might get 2 to 3. If you're working on Slack and writing papers and you've got the brightness, about 30-40%, you're probably going to get to 5 to 7 hours. It just depends on what you're doing. All right, the real reason y'all are here is to talk about performance. So of course, I like to look at video editing, I like to look at coding, and I like to look at gaming on the stuff that I review. So let's talk about coding first. In Android Studio, doing a clean build of OnkyDroid, which is an open source software, it took 2 minutes and 54 seconds to build the project, which is actually a little bit quicker than the M1 MacBook Pro that we did a review on. So rock on. So it's really not that bad, actually, for a compile time, and once the emulator started, it was very quick and snappy. In Premiere Pro, for a 12-minute 1080p video at maximum render quality, it took 3 minutes and 10 seconds. So that's 1/4 of the total video time to export, which is pretty good, And so that should be really the performance that you should look at if you're, making Android applications, or you're doing Premiere. This will edit 4K. I didn't edit 4K on it, but it should be probably about 50% of your total video time. So if you've got a 4K video that's 20 minutes, it's probably going to take maybe 10 minutes to render, which isn't bad. And so if you're also doing coding, you've got the nice large screen, plenty of power. It'll handle all of your development needs, no problem. And so while this machine isn't meant for gaming, it can do light gaming. It does have a 2060 Max-Q. And so playing WoW Classic and Retail was a pleasant experience. It was maxed out. It was able to exceed 60 hertz, but used VSync, so it was maxed out. Wasn't a problem at all. COD Black Ops was also playable and was able to exceed the 60 hertz for the panel at high quality settings. So if you're someone who likes to work and play games, then this has got you covered. And so while gaming though and doing heavy tasks, I want to mention this. The 130 watt AC adapter is not able to keep the machine topped off. So after 1 hour of playing games, the battery was at about 90% and it started at 100. So keep that in mind whenever you look to purchase this, that after about an hour of gaming, you're probably going to lose 10% of your battery. So it is what it is. But you can game on this and it's a very pleasant experience. And so the greatest feature of this new XPS 17 for me, compared to the older ones in my opinion, is the cooling. This is the best, and I repeat, the best cooling solution I have seen on a Dell or Alienware laptop ever. The fans, they don't turn into jet engines. They hardly kick on except when you need them. And when you don't, they're silent. And the temperatures are so good. I don't think I've seen this thing thermal throttle the whole time. I mean, it would get to about 89 or 90, granted, but it didn't thermal throttle, which is a lot considering it's got an 8-core, 16-thread Intel part in it. So we know those bad boys are hot. But the cooling solution on this, I mean, it's fantastic. Like, I can use this, play games downstairs on the couch with my wife, or do video editing, and the fans don't get so loud that she doesn't want me in the room, which is really cool. And so that brings us to our last thing, and that is, who is this for? Who is this? Who should purchase this machine, really? And this machine for me is for developers, power users, creators, those who need a laptop that is both powerful, portable, and sleek. This is what I call boardroom ready. And what that means is that it has the power, but your colleagues in a boardroom don't know how much power it has, and it doesn't look like you're carrying around an alien artifact, right? So you can go into a boardroom with this. It's not going to be super loud and obtrusive. You don't have to worry about people getting mad at you because you've got this loud machine in there. That's what I mean by boardroom ready. You can rest easy taking this into meetings, when those start back up in person. And so this machine is also for the user who wants a desktop replacement. Someone who plays a few games such as WoW, StarCraft, League, etc., but needs desktop class power and wants only one machine. So this is for the person who wants, to have one machine. They want a laptop, but they also want that desktop power, but they just want to have one machine, right? And so with this, you can easily hook this to a monitor, keyboard, mouse, and have your desktop experience, right? And then you can unplug like 1 or 2 cables, and then you take it on the go, and you're taking your work with you wherever you go. And that's who this is for to me. This is for that person who is a professional or a college student who doesn't want to have, their own desktop and then have a laptop, but they want to have one seamless experience, and that is who this is for. And so this is, in my mind, the best laptop to have ever been created. Yes, it is fantastic. I am truly blown away with this. I have had a love-hate relationship with Dell, mostly hate for their stuff. And I've had a couple XPS systems and I hated them. I've had a couple Alienwares, hated them, But I seen this and I wanted to give it a shot, and I'll tell you what, this is the best laptop that Dell has ever produced. And you would be doing yourself a disservice if you did not pick one of these up and you're in the market. Listen, this has been Jeff, the IT guy. I hope y'all are doing great out there. Sorry there's been a lack of videos, but they're starting back up. And I can't wait to see you all. And as always, keep it real.